guys? Bobby Roast Beef here, Jigs and friggin' Bigs. You probably can hear it in my voice that, believe it or not, somehow your boy managed to get sick after the snow camp. It's not good. It's not fun, but I'll be riding the mute button here while I'm hacking my brains out. I got Who the Fuck is Joe Brown back in the house. We got some shit to talk about this week, folks. Joe had called in an FTG, and I have done everything I can to avoid listening to this in advance, but I know it's going to get some people fired up, and I think it ties into a little conversation I had with one of our jig heads, the one and only St. Nick, earlier this week. I have a brand new promo code to drop for you folks here in Jigs and Bigs Nation. We're going to try and hook you up. If there's an accessory that you're looking for, a very specific one, I think I can help you out, save a little bit of money, and we got information about future guests coming. We are on the eve of one of the greatest New England fishing events, annual fishing events that's going down. We'll talk about what's going on there, when we'll be around, if you want to pop by and bump into us roaming around, and where you could find us. We got all kinds of great stuff to talk about, guys. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up after this. Go get yourself something delicious to enjoy. Come on! There's a lot of people right now that are rooting for Buffalo. A lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean in our circle in as far as jig heads here. We got Jay Manning in the house and John Hagen's with us. We were just saying before we started rolling, it's hard to be a Bills fan. It really is. Like, that's true dedication, man.
Sure.
Like, it takes a lot to live in that part of the country anyway, because like lake effect snow is a reality. I can remember working one day. This is back when I worked in TV, and two of the stations that we had operated were in Buffalo, and they literally got over 5 feet of snow. It was ridiculous. Like, houses were just like doors where you couldn't get out. Like, it was nuts. Dangerous shit. And I mean, it's tough, man, to be a Bills fan. Like, that is true dedication. And, I know there's a lot of people all around the country right now that just want to see the Bills take it and take Kansas City out of it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of people right now diving into some buffalo wings and some beef on wick. If you know, then you know. Oh, my God. Well, Joe, I'll tell you what, it's nice to be back in the disco dungeon recording in this controlled environment.
Some hiccups. That's okay, though.
Yeah, man, it was not enjoyable. Although I will tell you this much. We have to get you into the camping circle more of, because I'll tell you what, that trip was amazing. It was nothing that I had intended on it being, which what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday? I dropped a video, put it together, and I'll tell you what, seriously, this is probably one of like the best, most well thought out videos that I've put out. Like, it's just got all kinds of really good production elements in here. Sure. I'm getting there. Like, I'm starting to feel like I'm really getting the hang of it, Yeah,
it's everything's so different on YouTube, man.
Dude, it totally is.
And especially you coming from like the TV industry, like it's got to be so much different.
It's I wish I had when I was working. Yeah. Like, when I was working then in that industry, I wish I had the ability to exercise my creative muscle the way I am with this stuff. Like, so I'm really into it. Like, when I sit down and edit, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's pour a big cup of coffee. We'll dive in, and I've got stuff going. Like, and I got to thank Janelle for, one of the things that I've been doing is anytime that I've been working alongside somebody and doing a collab is I just like get comfortable with like, hey, if you have some content that's good, like let's share that stuff and make it work. So some of the stuff that she put in was from her perspective. And like there was this random shot where she was recording the screen on my truck as I backed up to hitch the boat up. And I'm like, I would have never thought to even capture that.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy doing it at the time.
Sure.
So stupid shit like that, it worked out really good. But oddly enough, I will say this. So there's two things I want to mention about Janelle. First off, to kick things off, thanks again, Janelle, for such an amazing experience in South Jersey. The Pinelands take everything that the rest of the country assumes sucks about Jersey and pushes it out to the outside. It's an interesting little spot. We had a lot of fun. And so there was that element of it. The other thing is that, so as you remember, Janelle told me going into this trip,
Bobby, it never freezes down here in South Jersey. We're good. It's never going to freeze. It never freezes. It's never happened in history.
That little son of a bitch went ice fishing like 3 times this week in South Jersey. She's been catching them too. Like she is. And she's doing it with like homemade fucking tip-ups.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. And this is a new thing for her. She's never ice fished, I think, before this with any regularity. So like she put this shit together and is out making it happen. I'm like, son of a bitch. Hey, good for you. The other thing is this. So she has been co-hosting the Spawn podcast with Binya. Mm-hmm. Did you see the burn that she dropped on Binya?
No.
Mid-show, interview and everything. Like they were live. So right in the middle of, like, it was toward the tail end of the show, and she had sent me the clip, and then Binya had tagged me in the clip too. And she goes, Mike, you're like the Wish version of Bobby Roast Beef. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
It was so fucking funny. And her guest was like, yeah. Yep. Oh, I laughed my ass off. John Hagan says he saw the clip.
Goodness.
Holy shit. I laughed so fucking hard, man. That was so
that's
good.
Funny.
I needed that, but that was really good. I want to get to the goods before we dive into like the quasi fishy shit we've been working on. Yeah. You guys know that earlier this year, or earlier, I guess it was late summer 2024, I had been in communication with Jacob over at Omega Boat Steps. And he sent me a set of Omega Boat Steps. I believe they're the Quadzillas is what they are. It's a 4-step system, bolts right onto my trailer, and it fits like a glove. Well, I love these things. They're great. Jacob called me a couple weeks ago, and he was like, hey, dude, how are things? Do you like the steps? And I initially reached out to Jacob, curious about the steps and saying, like, I was interested in obviously, putting together some kind of an affiliate code or something so we could prove positive. Like, if they're good, if they're quality and I'm giving a good endorsement for it, like, I want to know that we're doing well. He went one step further and he gave us a discount code. And he goes, I just wanted, before we started doing this and rolling it out, and this is the way I like it to work in my mind. Give me the product to toy around with. And if it's a good fit, yes, then I want to promote it. I don't want to promote shit that's not a good fit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's be honest here. So Jacob had reached out, and I told him, I was like, we got to get you on the show. I'm actually recording with him next week. So we're going to be talking about how he kind of got into manufacturing, because that's his background. His background is fabrication. Mm-hmm. And it shows in the product. So here's what we have for Jigs and Bigs listeners. If you have a boat trailer that you're looking to put a set of steps on to make things a little bit more accessible, keep you out of the water a little bit more, that's a nice thing. What we've got for you is a 10% off your entire order for any minimum purchase that's $250 or more. I should mention that the cheapest step that the cheapest step then they're not having a sale is $300. So any of the step systems are really going to qualify. And the code is real simple. It's Jigs and Bigs. All one word, all lowercase, and there is going to be a link so that you can click that link in the description of this podcast, and it should populate that promo code for you right there by clicking that link. But if you are interested in a set of boat steps and you want to make your life a little bit easier, make it a little bit more simpler for the people you care about getting in and out of your boat, this is a great way to go ahead and do it. And these things are absolutely fantastic. I love them. So go ahead, Jigs and Bigs at checkout right there, and you can save yourself 10% off your entire order. Save you a little bit of money on a quality product that's made right here in the U.S., fabricated right here. And they have a bunch of different options available, a bunch of different setups available that you can apply to your best usage. And measuring for it is super easy. And Jacob just walks you right through everything. Gives you step-by-step instructions, and will set you up real good. So go ahead, check that out. Thank you to Omega Boat Steps. You guys are going to hear from Jacob in the coming weeks. We also have an interview on deck with the one and only Drew Gregory. So I got to be honest with you, man. One of the things that was quasi fishing related here is that I kind of want to bite the bullet on a couple of the stops on the Kayak Adventure Series. Oddly enough, I was looking at the Kayak Adventure Series lineup, and Drew was recently on the Catch, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of the dates. So the dates have just dropped, and actually the first one is coming up in next month, and it's in Florida, Ocalapalooza, excuse me. It's February 21st to the 22nd in Ocala, Florida. This is a kickoff. This is a lot of people are talking about going, I guess, just to get out of the cold. Although right now in Florida, Louisiana and Texas, like it's like winter.
Yeah,
it's like New England winter.
Chilly. Yeah.
It's crazy right there. So, but a lot of people are using this as an opportunity to get back, by that time, things should, of course, have passed and everything. But folks are thinking about using this as kind of a trip to kind of get out there. So go and check it out. KayakAdventureSeries.com is the website. Look at the events. The entire 2025 schedule is there. And there's a couple that I'm looking at. There is one in South Boston, Virginia. That's in May. And then there's one actually in Springfield, Ohio. Which I was like, it's kind of like that's kind of like John Hagen's kind of area, like that out that way. You know what I mean? And then there's two in Pennsylvania that sound really good. There's Susky 5, the Slamma Jamma in Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. And then there's Broodstock 2, the Allegheny Adventure, that's in Franklin, Pennsylvania. And those two I'm considering, along with that one in Virginia in May. Because I'm thinking like one earlier in the year and then one later in the year.
Yeah.
Maybe have some fun with that. And he and I had talked about maybe doing fishy trivia again at the Susky, potentially for this one. So I may end up being at 3 of these things,
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it could be kind of fun.
Nice. Yeah, nice little road trip for you.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's some work I still have to do on the kayak. I have to put I have to fix my rudder. And, I should say, I'm looking at all of these. One of the things that I really like about this, when you look at the schedule and you click on any one event. So, let's take a look at the Bloomberg. Bloomberg, PA. Right. So when I'm looking over there, it very, very easily, it gives you the list of core lakes and then core rivers that are all in play for the tournament. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to waste my time in the rivers with my kayak. I think that's just the plan going into it.
Yeah.
I'm more, when it comes to kayak fishing, I'm more about lakes and ponds. It's just, that's my boat is set up far, far more for that. So we'll see what we can do. It'd be kind of interesting. And it wouldn't be a bad thing to get my fat ass pedaling again. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It would not be the worst thing ever. So, I don't know. Maybe
that'd be cool, man.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. As far as other quasi-fishy shit, the only thing I did today, I went and I washed the boat. Because it's fucking beautiful outside.
It is.
It's like 40 degrees right now. John says, what water are they fishing on in Springfield, Ohio? I haven't even looked into that one. You can check the whole event. All the breakdown is right there at KayakAdventureSeries.com. John, go ahead and check it out. There's a bunch of different, I want to say like the Great Miami River is part of it. I'm not sure about anything else, but I heard he was talking with, of course, the Catch guys. They're from Ohio. So both Matt and Brad, they're going to be hitting this thing hard. So it'll be pretty exciting. But yeah, I did. I went and I washed the boat today because I'll tell you what.
The motherfucker was a salt lick on a trailer.
Yeah. No bullshit, man. That drive back was insane. But I got to give credit to all of the State Departments that did any kind of cleanup, because I know they don't see the snow that we get up here when we get it. And we don't see the snow that fucking Maine gets, I mean, it's a different kind of beast. But they did it all right, but there was salt everywhere. And with a black boat, it just shows up so bad.
Yeah.
I was a little nervous because the temps, when I got back, man, dude, we saw -10 the morning after I got home.
Holy cow! Yeah, it was cold, man.
It was fucking real. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know if that's such a great idea to go and wash the boat in with temps this cold. I don't know. You know, again, I'm trying to play it safer. I went and I did a pretty decent job on it right now. I probably could bring it back for another turnaround, but it's actually going to be pretty warm for a good chunk of this week. Like at night, it's going to be get into the 20s or teens. But during the day, we're going to see temps hit like the upper 30s most days, which after last week is fucking nice.
Last week was rough, dude. Last week, it's funny you mentioned like the salting the roads and stuff like that. Did you see that like viral clip out there? Because for those of you, I mean, you have to be living on the rock to not know this, but some parts of Florida got like 8-9 inches of snow.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a pretty viral clip going around. Like they don't know how to salt roads and shit, so they just had like two guys sitting on the tailgate as the third guy drove, and they're just literally hand spreading salt onto the roads.
It's all that they can do. They don't have fucking spreaders or anything like that. Yeah. Although I will say, some of our friends of the show that are from down south, specifically Megan Long, Largemouth Sass, dude, she's been living her best life with it. Because she lives like right around New Orleans. And they've got snow. Like I'm talking like she was out with her dog Brody. Like she's got all kinds of content playing in the snow, making like a 5-foot tall fucking snowman and shit. So like some folks are absolutely enjoying it because it's such a break from what they're used to this time of year.
Right.
It's just fucking insane to me. You know,
it is, dude. It is.
I can't imagine that. I did. So like I had, I know in weeks previous I had gone and I had mentioned like, I'd purchased a bunch of tackle to kind of restock for the year and things like that.
Sure.
And none of it has been a waste at all. But I just haven't had a chance to use any of it.
Right.
I'll tell you the biggest letdown of last week's trip was I was really just hoping to be on the boat as the snow was coming down with the drone overhead and being able to have that shot. I am telling you, this is the first payment I've made on the boat in a month where I didn't take it out, and it fucking stung.
I know how you feel.
Yeah.
I know how you feel.
Yeah. I'm like, motherfucker.
Mine's sitting in a friggin' giant garage, just sitting there, man.
It's got to be even worse for you because you're paying for that to be there on top of your payment for it.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm telling you. So how about you, Joe? Any fishy adjacent stuff going on? You've had a lot of content this week.
I did. I had a little bit of time off of work this week, so I was like, man, I gotta start doing some content here. But fishing wise, it's official. I registered for the tournament down at West Point Lake in LaGrange, Georgia for ABA.
Nice.
Taylor from Fish and Dives, my partner.
All right, nice. That's
because it's a military tournament. So last year I think they had like 100-something boats, but
nice.
So you have to be affiliate, either active or veteran. But so he's got it's funny. He can only take so many days off of work. So I'm heading down, and then he's flying in. With all of his shit. He's flying with his rods and everything.
That's brave, dude.
Yeah, dude. And then he's gonna drive back with me. Then we're gonna head back, and I'm just gonna drop him off in PA on the way home. But so officially registered for that. Just gotta find a spot to stay. Still working that part. And then man, other than that, man, just kind of just finally getting shit ready, starting to order some shit here and there, just like taking count of what I need and what I'm low on, things like that. Other than that, dude, fucking, I don't think I've ever been sick, or the family's ever been sick ever this much during winter. Yeah, it has been crazy, dude.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of shit going around too, man.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's like, my kids have been constantly sick. It's friggin' aggravating.
My youngest, she's got the same kind of chest thing that I've got right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't been terrible. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
There are some times where I'm like, I probably shouldn't be talking on the microphone as many days of the week as I am. I should but this has been nowhere near as bad as
Sure.
sometimes it's fucking brutal. Like I feel like sometimes the trivia players that come out are like,
who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah,
He doesn't even sound like Bobby.
I know.
And this is like, you can hear it a little bit now, but this is about as bad as it's been.
Yeah.
So that's
what, like with me, I got a little, like Emma was sick all week with like something like you were saying, like she lost her voice for a day, and
that sucks.
Now I got a little something going on. I'm like, I've never been so sick.
Yeah.
I've never been sick this much over a winter before. It's friggin' insane.
It's great. And usually when it's like brutal cold, you find you don't get sick as much because like the shit dies. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
It's like,
for sure.
Oh, dude, this is one of the coldest winters we've had in a while. Go figure. I buy a boat with full intention of being like,
yeah, I'm gonna go to Cape Cod,
winter,
man.
And I'm like,
dude, they're ice fishing down there.
I can't fucking go to like the little creeks and rivers that don't normally freeze around here.
Yeah,
it's useless to go out. It is,
dude.
useless.
Right now, you'd have to hit like the Carolinas,
and I would. It's insane. I would, I would be down to travel. I would be 100% down to travel. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just there's February. It hit me today. I was looking at the calendar. I was like, February starts just next weekend. And then it's 4 short weeks, and then a couple weeks we're looking at like St. Patty's Day. So I mean, we're almost done. And I don't know about you, Joe, but I have noticed, I've taken note, because the busiest part of my day where there's that like non-working then working transition has been around that like 5:30, 6 o'clock hour. And now I'm not leaving the house when it's like absolutely pitch black out. Like the sun is either just going, like you can tell it's starting.
Yeah, it's definitely starting. It's getting like, for me, it's like the big change for me is it's still light when I leave work.
That's nice. Yep.
That's the big, because I do 10-hour shifts now, but yeah, so that's the big one for me. That's like, I'm like, okay, all right, we're getting somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's funny because like we've talked about this. We go through this every year, like we don't deal with it. But yeah, I hate it. I hate the winter. I don't know why I live here.
I know. For the hobbies that we have, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I seriously, it's wild. Like my wife, how you and I have shared before that both of us with our spouses have had that conversation about, should we just buy a camper and like travel all over the place? I'm trying to sell my wife on the idea of doing a truck camper with like 3 crankouts, like one of the big ones.
Yeah.
I don't want her to have to feel like she's roughing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just fucking, buy a brand new 1-ton pickup with dualies, right?
Yep.
And then we'll pop one of these bitches on there. We'll sell the fucking house. Like as soon as the girls are independent and on their own.
Yeah.
Man, it's tempting because I can hold a boat
I'm
with
right
that.
there with you. Like I would love to do that. But for us, it's who have boats. That's kind of what you have to do because you can't buy it's weird because like we've talked about it and I got like Dan Griffin has this crazy 5th wheel camper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the thing's nicer than my fucking house, dude. And but if he wants to bring his boat anywhere, he has to pull the camper and then his wife pulls the boat. You know what I mean? Jen's awesome. She can do it, but it's just a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? And
that's what I tried to explain to my wife. I was like, look, if we do one of these, we could take the boat and then have the best of everything. Because we can drop that truck camper and then take it off and then drive around wherever the hell we want. You know what I mean? And kind of have a little bit of a home base. Like, we don't need a lot of space. Like, we really don't. No. She's looking at some of these like big 5ths and stuff. And I was like, if we're going to do some of this shit, I go, you're going to have to learn to drive with a trailer and not like, I'm going to drive here and then I'm going to stop and you're going to come and back up. Like, no, you're going to have to learn how to do this.
Right. Every aspect of it.
It's crazy, man. It is crazy.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure all of that shit out.
We'll see where I end up when I retire in a year and a half.
In a year and a half, really? Should we hold you to that? Do you think it's gonna be?
Yeah. I already got it. Date set and everything.
Dude, good for you. That's awesome, man.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You've served the shit out of this country and all the assholes that fucking live here. So we appreciate it. You deserve the greatest, most enjoyable retirement you can get.
I appreciate it. You'll be there, Bobby. You'll be at that party for sure. Yeah.
Fucking believable, man. So yeah, I am, needless to say, I'm chomping at the bit to fish. I'm looking at the calendar and like, I'm just gonna make a couple of calls and then see like some of the bait shops that are out by the Cape and see as soon as there's open water. Although at this point, I'm kind of just reserved to the fact that this is how it is. Actually, you know what I should do? You know exactly what I should do.
Let's hear it.
Go buy an ice auger. The second I fucking buy an auger, 60-degree days.
The ice is going to be gone. Yep.
60-degree days. Done deal.
Yep. That's actually smart.
I should just fucking do it, you know? Because
that's Murphy's Law right there, man.
That's how it is. Like when people ask me, and I know people say the same thing too, because I saw you posted something about like ice fishing, and like it's not that I have any type of ill will against like ice fishing as an activity. It's just that for me, it just doesn't scratch the itch that open water fishing does.
Yeah.
And it isn't close enough to work, you know?
Yep.
With that said, a big part of the reason is it's not like any of the gear that I'm using is going to cross over. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like electronics could, you know? Like I could take I have a bunch of shit that I could use as a flasher, and you know, like I've got all kinds of stuff that I could utilize. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like I've got one jigging rod, and that's like it's buried in my storage unit. I have one tip up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I bought it 1 year, and I was like, we're gonna go out. You know, we know. Like it was Sean and I had gone out with Nelson. I was like, I'll just have this stuff on hand. But like, you need a sled to bring all the shit.
Let's talk. All right, so let's talk the ice fishing thing for a second here. Mm-hmm. It's like I loved it a lot more, and like I'm sure you saw the video I put up there, up on socials. But it's like I enjoyed it as a kid, and you know why I really enjoyed it as a kid? Because I realize it now. My fucking dad did everything,
all the work.
So now when I bring the kids, I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Pat says that your video is spot on about how he feels too.
Dude. Yeah, it's like, I do it. I suck it up for the kids, dude. But it's like, you know, if it's a big group of people are cooking, whatever. But like, I don't have the motivation or the want to carry out a big ass fucking grill, set it all up, fucking cook a bunch of food. You know, I still got to deal with the tip ups because my kids aren't quite at the age where they're not going to fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's just, and like just sitting there jigging in a single hole, dude, is like, it's just not my thing. But it's like, but again, so now I got to hike out fucking miles, pulling the sled that the kids told me they were going to pull. They promised they'll pull it. They promised they'll pull it if I take them. And then fucking 50 yards in, they're like, it's so heavy. And then I end up pulling it. And
it's true though.
It's
that's the thing. I am lazy. I'm not fucking hiding it. I like to fish as I don't like to do more work than I necessarily have to. I love what Jay Manning said in the roundtable about kayak versus boat versus bank. He was like, I didn't want to go out and fish and exercise all the time. Like, it's pretty, you know what I mean? And again, I mean that like there's a time and a place, you know, there totally is. But it's just with ice fishing, it can be such a grind.
And like the setup and the takedown is fucking takes forever. And like our boats, dude. So even yours, I can go from being on the water to pulling away from the boat ramp in about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
there's a certain level of dedication to like load up that sled, drag it all the way out there, get everything set up, fish, and then like it's nuts. I like what Jay says here. He's like, I totally agree. It does not scratch the same itch. However, it does scratch the itch to get outdoors, and it is sort of a mission. I totally can get that. You know, I could totally understand that. It's just a matter of, you know, like I said before, Murphy's Law. I'm going to get my gear together, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, massive heat wave comes in from out of nowhere.
Yep.
And then I'm going to be like, well, fuck this. I'm going to get on my boat.
Yeah. I feel terrible because I told Jackson and Jeremiah I was like, yep, as soon as we get ice, I'll take you guys out. Like, I promise we'll go out at least once. And then like this week I have training and we have the show.
Yep.
The following week I'm in Columbus. You know what I mean? So it's like, and then the following week after that, like maybe if there's still some ice.
That's the thing. Who knows how long this good stretch of ice fishing is actually going to last?
Yep.
I mean, it's.
Maybe I'll see if my dad will bite the bullet and take him out. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like, Dad, here's all my shit. Just take them. I got shit to do.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all, man. It's not. This is a weird part of winter because you get into Expo season, and it's gonna get a little bit nuts. I mean, it really is. I mean, shit, you nailed it. Like, we got the New England Expo that's next weekend, and then Columbus is going on. Let's see.
And then is Springfield the week after that?
Springfield, I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, not that we're really doing anything with that one, but.
I will have the booth there. I don't know how much it's going to be. That's the week after that week. So it's the 21st through the 23rd.
All right.
Jesus Christ, it's the 41st fucking show. Jesus Christ, that's nuts. So that weekend I will be there at the Springfield show, popping in and out. My goal is to kind of just have a device running so that folks can take a little bit of an interactive quiz and do their sort of thing. But, we'll figure it all out.
I'll pop in too. So, I mean, I'm sure we'll make it so the both of us are at least there for a few hours at the same time,
What a lot of those expos do is they make it really tricky on our end to be able to record the show. Because I know, like, everybody thinks, like, oh, yeah, you can just record the show there, do it live. And I'm like, the problem with that is that, it's not set up for that. And it's not necessarily, I feel like it's a little bit of a disservice to record live and make it be a spectacle while you have vendors there that are trying to communicate about their products and shit like that. Like, that's not our place. Now, if they wanted us to record a show like a specified time, like after hours, like adjacent to, or like a party or something, that'd be fine.
Bobby Roast Beef does like to party.
He does. But we'll have to just figure out, something. I'm thinking next week is going to be a little bit nuts. What's your Monday look like?
I work Mondays now.
You work Mondays?
I work all the Mondays.
What about Monday evening? Because I don't right now. We could take advantage of that.
Yeah, Monday evenings I should be able to do. I'm usually home by like 5:30.
Maybe we'll just do that. Record Monday evening and flip the show immediately. Because right now they're open. I have a couple of accounts that want me to pick Mondays up, and I'm considering it. But I also am like,
you're an animal.
You know what it is? I pulled the plug on the brunch stuff. Did I tell you about this?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I pulled the plug on the brunch event.
Gotcha.
It was every other week, and it was so challenging to free up the time. It was so challenging to get the regulars in there, and it was a super promo. It was the second and fourth Sunday morning at 10:30, and it was. It was so obvious that folks didn't understand how the calendar worked, because even the staff would be like, is it this week? And I'm like, there's a poster behind you. I'm like, there's a poster behind you. So it was like, I told the owner, I was
brunch is tough, dude. Brunch has got to be tough for something like that.
Well, and the thing is it really is like it regardless of the time of day. I think that there is a whole other community of people who would regularly play at that hour.
Sure.
But it's got to be weekly, and it's got to be something that's going on every single week regardless. And I told them initially, I was like, when they started doing this, I was like, if you guys want to fuck up my Sundays,
let's fuck them up.
Like, I want to be making money. You know? So it's like, I'm going to do this Sunday evening. And Sunday evenings have been great, which is a challenge for you guys. The fact that you guys are, the fact that we haven't fucked up a show since, oh my God.
I know.
I'm amazed. We've had a show come out every single Tuesday. Like, it's really, really good. That one's a little bit like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if we had to record late on a Sunday. You know what I mean? Like after trivia, because that one gets done at 8:00.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is. It's just a little bit of a challenge. Jay Manning says the Jigs and Bigs after party should be a traveling thing for show season. I would love to do that. The problem is, number one, it would be packed. I'm having this challenge. People hate buying fucking tickets unless they're spending like $4,000 on Taylor Swift and can fucking brag that they got fucking taken for $4,000 from an artist. You know what I mean? I currently have an event going on right now that is something people have wanted me to do for years and have asked about it. And I'm going for it. And I'm going to have to suck it up and inflate the price and sit at the door and do day of. Because I can't get people to buy a ticket in advance or look at the calendar on the little computer they have in their fucking pocket to save their life. I can't fucking do it.
It's got to be. It's got to be something we're gonna have to like sit down over a couple of years and be like, all right, dude, because Columbus was phenomenal.
It was fucking amazing.
But that's like it's a sponsored show, so it's a little bit different. Like it's like we're essentially going there for somebody else. Yeah, and and obviously there's benefits to be reaped from that. But dude, that was fucking awesome. And I have no doubt in my mind if we did it the right way, that's how every single one of them would be.
Oh, 100%. Like our track record with the live shows is great.
Yeah, but it's like you said. It's where it gets challenging is when you even mention the word ticket. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like it's like somehow it becomes disparaging when you do that. Yep. So you gotta like trick them in the mind somehow.
It's and I've it's tough because it's not something that you want to do. Like I've done the gatekeeping thing before where I'm like, hey, if you want to get into this event, and this is like trivia shit, I'm like, I need to take, and there's a reason. Like it's not like I'm being a dick. The reason is the venue where I'm setting up has multiple rooms based on estimated size of people. Of the crowd. Yeah. So if I don't know going in, I have to, I guess, set up in the biggest room. And then if it doesn't fucking sell out, the perception is that it's poorly attended. Yep. Or do I, then I have to pick the room in the middle, which is fine, but maybe it's not going to work based on the actual amount of people that show up.
Sure. Sure.
So it's just a bunch of people don't realize that like there's moving parts involved.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think, if we end up doing the stuff with John down at JCS, if that comes into fruition, that'll be, that'll be great. Because we haven't really gone down in that area. Mm-hmm. So
I think it'll work out really good.
We have a lot of listeners.
Definitely going to be happening.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah.
In fact, cool. I told John I was going to put a post together for him. He had sent some pictures of the shop, like with things like in place, and he's got some new t-shirt. Oh, dude, he's got this new t-shirt.
Oh, I haven't seen the new t-shirt.
The t-shirt's awesome. I'm gonna look it up and show you a picture of it. So it's I'm gonna tell you that the front of it says just one more boat, I promise, and this is the graphic on the back.
Oh, that's genius. That's actually awesome.
Dude, it's such a good fucking shirt. So I'm like, just one more boat, I promise. That's it. Yeah.
That's good.
It's so good. But yeah, that's definitely going to be happening. We just got to get the stuff. This is a weird time of year to plan this shit. It's a good time of year to plan this stuff. Yeah. Because of the location on the calendar. It's a tough one because right now it's so difficult with all the shows going on and expos. Like I didn't even realize that Dark Horse was doing that the Great Lakes show. That was this past weekend. I was like, holy shit, man. Like they're grinding it out.
Yep, they are.
They really are. I got to give it to them. Dark Horse fucking makes that shit happen. Although Dark Horse is the type of entity that's perfect for that type of stuff. They really are. Like they've got.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they have the subscription box. Yep. And the bait shop. Those two elements, it allows them to cover so much. Yep. It's awesome.
Cool.
Freaking awesome, dude. It's going to be good shit. Why don't we do this? Why don't we dive into our headlines?
Yeah.
And then we'll jump over to our next segment and we'll talk some FTGs.
All right.
I love it.
All right, so I actually got two stories for you guys today. The first one's going to come out of Texas, and the headline here is 2 nabbed for illegally spearing 76 pounds of bass in Texas. Under the right circumstances, spearfishing can be a rewarding hobby, but before you head into a body of water with a spear gun and a snorkel, you should make sure that it's permissible to do so. Unfortunately, 2 suspects didn't bother themselves with the legalities when they allegedly took to the waters of Lady Bird Lake near Barton Springs, Texas, and speared 76.05 pounds of black bass, including some real hogs. Bystanders informed the Texas game wardens about illegal fishing activity taking place at Lady Bird Lake on December 30th, 2024. A Travis County game warden and a captain game warden responded to the scene shortly after the tip was received. Upon their arrival in the early afternoon, the wardens encountered 2 suspects actively engaged in illegal spearfishing activity. One suspect was spearing black bass with a pneumatic spear gun while snorkeling, which is a violation of Texas state fishing regulations. The other was waiting onshore with a cooler and a bag, collecting the ill-gotten fish from his partner. When the wardens inspected the cooler, they uncovered 18 unlawfully taken black bass. Wow. Spear guns hand-operated devices that can utilize rubber bands, compressed air, or other means for propulsion, and not legal to take game fish in lakes such as Lady Bird, according to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. They may, however, be used to take non-game or so-called rough species.
Yeah.
The combined weight of the fish was a whopping 76 pounds, and they taped out a combined 348 inches. There are many large specimens in the illicit haul, with 14 bass over 18 inches in length and 9 over 20.
Jesus Christ.
One of the bass weighed almost 7 pounds. For reference, the daily bag limit for all black bass species on Lady Bird Lake is 5 in any combination. All fish, along with the spear guns and gear, were seized, and the bass were donated for consumption. The suspects face multiple citations for illegal fishing methods and unlawful possession of black bass. Fines and restitution charges are pending.
Wow. That's fucking awful. Fuck those guys.
Yeah, this one, right, this picture I'm looking at right here is 23, big old 23 incher.
Holy shit. Jay Manning says these guys are like the Navy SEALs of the White Bucket Brigade, and I think he fucking nailed it, dude. A pneumatic fucking gun. Jesus Christ.
Jay with the zingers, man.
That is a fucking zinger. Jesus Christ. I can't even imagine. Like, I get it. Like, there are people who eat bass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it. But poaching is poaching, man. And, like, straight up ignoring laws is fucked. Like, good for these guys. I hope the fines were fucking super significant. You know?
I was hoping... They didn't even name. It's funny. They got a couple pictures here. One of the guy coming out of the water with actually, let me see if I can show it to you here. All right, share screen.
Yeah, I can't get over some of these fucking guys. The White Bucket, and it seems like everybody has a White Bucket Brigade.
So there you go.
Oh, geez.
So there's our boy, our Navy SEAL coming out of the water here.
What a fucking piece of shit.
With the game warden.
What a piece of shit. Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good fish.
So that's one of the big ones.
Damn.
Yeah, crazy, man.
It's a freaking pickle.
Absolutely crazy. So,
and I'm not even like one of these psychos that's like, you got to release every single fish. It's America's fish or anything. No, this is like, I'm like, yeah, you harvest, appropriately and with consideration for what you're harvesting. Not, well, we're going to get all the fish.
We're going to get all these fish.
Oh, yeah. Bunch of ding-dongs.
Absolutely. Absolute ding-dongs.
All right.
All right.
So we're I'm gonna stop sharing this, and then we're gonna go to our next story here, and then we actually have audio of the and video of the actual guy talking about this story. But side scan sonar used to find truck that drove into Sam Rayburn. Ever wonder what a truck would look like on side scan sonar? Clark Ream recently found out when a truck drove off the 147 bridge into Sam Rayburn Lake on January 8th. Ream was fishing the lake when he received a call from a buddy who had witnessed a vehicle jump the guardrails and was currently in the lake. While Ream didn't have all the details, he noticed a helicopter working the scene. Good Samaritans had already intervened, with an angler launching their boat and racing over to pluck the woman out of the frigid lake. Another individual had just jumped off the bridge in an attempt to save her as well. Fortunately, this had a happy ending as everyone was removed from the water. Details are thin, but it would appear that there were only minor injuries to all parties involved. Authorities responded quickly and rendered necessary aid. After everyone was safe and the scene was clear, Ream was able to assist using his Lowrance structure scan to locate the vehicle. It was tough going due to the strong winds and the bridge pilings, but he was able to obtain some pretty useful info for researchers as well as some interesting images. So let's listen to Mr. Ream here actually telling us about this.
Crazy thing happened on Sam Rayburn today. I was out fishing on a guide trip, and a buddy of mine had called and said that the car in front of them had just jumped the railing on the 147 bridge and was in the lake. I don't have all the details, but I ended up heading over there. We saw the helicopters fly into Castle Boykin Park, and from what I understand, a guy launched the boat, drove over, picked up the lady that was in the boat or had come into the water, and another guy had jumped off the bridge to save her. And everybody is safe right now. I think they're banged up, but again, more details are going to come out. But here's the cool part about it. I went over and side scanned around the area. The state trooper that was working the scene, the Texas DOT was over there, and here are the images of the vehicle. And you can see in these pictures right here, it's actually standing on its hood, straight up and down. It doesn't really look like a vehicle. In one of these images right here, you can actually see, a shadow of the shape of the vehicle, but we've got a 10-mile-an-hour wind out here, and it's near some bridge piling, so you can't really get the right angle on it. But the interesting thing is, what are these stringy deals coming off the back? We're kind of speculating, could it be oil or some sort of fluid that has a water density difference? I can't imagine there's some sort of material making these big stringy deals off there, and we're not seeing any bubbles coming off of it.
Was my first thought.
Off to the surface. We're not seeing any sort of oil slick. But talking to the state trooper, I texted him all the imagery. We got it pinpointed exactly what piling it's off on. I had a buoy out on it, but they're going to do recovery. They're waiting on the Game and Fish to come out with their dive team, and they're going to do a recovery on it sometime next week after this winter storm. So, like I said, more details are probably going to come out. I'll let y'all know if I get any more, but that's what we know. So, Chris.
That's insane, dude.
Right?
That's nuts. I can't even imagine, could you imagine being out there and dragging a football jig around and going they're on that driver's side mirror pattern. You know what I mean? But it's
hey man, go ahead and flip over into that wheel well real quick.
There you go. Yes. I'll bet you he's right. I could see that being fluid. That's just just slowly making its way up to the surface. Yeah, that's crazy, especially if it's a little pinhole and it's being released real slowly.
Right.
Jay says
Jay's full of them today.
He is, man. He is. Do you think he cast on it a few times before calling people over? I could see that, and why not? God, that is insane to me, man. I mean, we did have that helicopter land in the lake last summer. What was it? I think Matt Fair and Pat had made the call, and their buddy Bob had gone out and played, rescuer to the people that were in there. But that's crazy. It's good. I mean, we're lucky everybody got out.
Right.
And I've always wondered that, when you're going over a bridge, I say this shit to my wife all the time. She hates driving over bridges. I have members of my family, cousins, that are just oh, I hate driving over bridges. I just close my eyes when I go over. I'm like,
you're part of the problem.
Why would you close your eyes? Just get in the middle lane. Get as close to the center as you can. You're fine. Get over it. It's fine. It's just a road.
Have you ever driven the Skyway Bridge in Tampa?
No, never.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Is in Tampa. No, I've never.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I know that there's some pretty interesting bridges when you go out to the Keys. Like,
yeah,
where you're just over the water's edge and it's just like road.
Yep.
You know,
I'm gonna be there in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, nice
for work. Tough trip.
Yeah.
Tough work trip.
It really is. Man.
Yeah. So there's your stories for the day, Bobby.
I fucking love it, man. I fucking love it. That's a wild one, dude. Well, hey, there's fishy shit happening all over the place. Hey, I do have something that I want to talk about. Actually, we'll talk about this in the next segment because this could be interesting. Maybe even on the way to wrap up the show. Pat does chime in. He goes St. Pete to Clearwater, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's St. Pete to Clearwater, Pat.
What is it about that bridge? It's so
it's just sketchy. Super high, dude. It's super high. Yeah, it's super high. Yeah. Yeah, because if I remember right, they got to get cruise ships under it. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, dude, like the George Washington Bridge is fucking high. Oh, what's fucking high is the fucking Sagamore. That's fucking high, too.
It is, actually,
That's a pretty fucking high bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, sunset pics off of that bridge? Really? Oh, pretty nice, John. I got something interesting, some tech stuff that that we should talk about that I think might be a little bit of a game changer. Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to take a short break, guys. We'll be back with more Jigs and Bigs after this. Don't go too far. Alrighty, guys. We are back with an FTG segment, and this call comes in by none other than our own Joe Brown. Called this one in, and I have exercised great restraint not to listen to it in advance, but from what I understand, this is going to get some folks pretty fired up. And our jig heads that are here, strap in. As you guys hear this, go ahead and leave some questions and comments. Here we go.
All right, Bobby. This is your extremely smart and handsome co-host here. I got a little FTG for you. So just drove by the Brookfield Lions Club Ice Fishing Derby on Quabog, and every single person sitting there watching, putting those trophy fish hanging up on the wall, just killing them all like they do every year. This FTG is for you. And the best part is that I can see people standing there that are all these keyboard warriors on these fishing, hunting, whatever pages all over, the internet, Facebook, whatever, talking about conservation and whatnot. I don't want to hear any of you talking conservation ever again if you're going to be part of a tournament like that. So fuck those guys. Fuck the Lions Club. That's why I don't do that thing anymore. The fish, I should have gotten out and taken a picture of those fish, those trophy fish that are on that board, just hanging there dead. That's why that pond has started to suck over the last 10, 15 years. That's it. That's all I got. Fuck those guys. I don't want to see any of you keyboard warriors talking shit about conservation while you stand there and participate in that event. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I was mad.
You were a little fired up.
I was a little, so I didn't get a picture per se.
Yep.
But of course the interwebs did a little research.
Okay.
Oh shit, I don't think I can share it. Damn it.
Did you save it on your you just select whatever other window it's in?
Yeah. Maybe it's this one. Let's try this one. Nope. Dang it. Yeah, it won't let me share the picture for some reason. But
oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I found a picture on the interwebs, and yeah. Dang, I was hoping. Let me try one more thing here.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've mentioned multiple times about specifically that club and their regular ice fishing derby. And this is an annual thing that they do, like every single year.
Right.
Which to me is just absolutely nuts, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, even in this picture, there are a couple spots where it's like there's a big piece of paper that says, "Oh, this one was released," but there's still. I mean, just in this one picture, I mean, there's 25 fish there, and you should see the size of the pickerel. Some of the pickerel that are on here, and the crappie. It's and the perch. It's absolutely insane. There was probably a 5-pound bass sitting there. So the top 2 bass were just hanging, and a couple of the other ones were released. But there's got to be a better way of doing this.
Oh,
there's got to be a better way. I mean, and even like Sean the Fisherman has talked about it. I've heard about it on other podcasts. Like those 13, 14, 15 inches, like, yeah, you take those here and there, like, it's not gonna do shit. But you take those big trophy breeders out.
And you got to think, like, how many people. The real issue comes just in the numbers, because like a lot of these types of events, in my mind, it's an annual event, so there's probably a built-in audience that are like, oh, we do this every year, we love it, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it's
And what happens to those fish where they're like, oh, this was the record for, like, if somebody beats it, it just gets replaced, I would assume. Otherwise, what's the point of having the board?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like having it on display. Yeah, it is horseshit. And actually, it kind of fits in. I think it was the picture that you just sent me. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is shitty. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set this up so that I can share this with everybody.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And I'm gonna do a screen share for everybody here, the photo one. Oh, I gotta download it.
Oh yeah. Hold on, Pat. Hopefully Bobby gets it up there and you'll see. It's gonna.
Oh yeah, it should be.
But it's just like, and there's, dude, I did it with my ice fishing derby. There's like 350 people registered, and it was completely catch photo release.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was absolute, like, for us taking in the pictures and doing all that, it was absolute chaos, but saved all those fish.
And it's funny that you say that. I think you absolutely can. All right, so I'm just going to do this. You guys are going to see some feedback. Things are going to happen. There we go. Can you guys see it?
No.
No? Oh, hold on a second. There we go. Boom. You guys able to see these?
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, that's shitty. That's super shitty. Look at the fucking pickerel.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Dude.
So the pickerel, right? Native fish. Yep. The yellow perch, native fish. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I can't even believe it. The people are stupid. They really, really are. They're just fucking stupid. Yep. So I do want to, like, it's funny you talk about catch photo release, because this kind of plays into that, this little bit of technology. Now I had, this was just this morning, so I'm giving you this information, and I don't fully grasp or, any of this stuff, all the details, but I'm going to go over it. So I saw a product today. I was on Facebook, and I saw an ad go by as I was looking at some Facebook Reels, and I saw this is an app, right? Another fishing app. This one's called Fish Techie. Okay, and what Fish Techie is it's like a catch feed, or not a catch, but like a catch record of your items, and it uses AI to measure your fish.
Interesting.
Yep. It's not perfect. I wouldn't ever expect this to be perfect, but the way it works is there's they call it the item that you use to use it. It's called a proof ball, and what it is, it looks like a bobber, like an orange bobber that has a little loop on it, a hook, and you put it on your finger. You see how there's that orange ball there? in all these pictures. What that is, the only thing I can assume it works as is a point of reference for your camera.
Okay.
So you have that in there, and then it automatically detects that and then measures the fish and takes a snapshot of all this other information. Now, it's particular. Like you can't hold the fish at an angle offsetting it one way or another, or it won't be accurate. It's got to be flat and it's got to be broadside, like a catch photo release. I'm thinking this could be a great way, because this has come up in the CPR tournament world, where people are just like, oh, it's the same fish, or, people are cheating, or blah, 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 blah. Like, it's come up before. This might be a nice addition, and that's why I want to look into this. I'm going to get a couple of the proof balls and see how it works. If I were to take the proof ball and affix it to my catch board, like put it right on the fence,
okay,
maybe even put a hole through it with a loop so it just stays right in there all the time. And I put my catch board down, I put the fish on top, I snap a picture, I have the ruler guide, but then as a backup, I also have the AI report of what that fish measured as.
Right.
It's pretty fucking cool. I was like, that's slick. And for those of you that are like, oh,
AI isn't fucking perfect. Things are crazy.
let me tell you about something else that I saw in fucking AI. And this is like tinfoil hat shit. Have you seen the AI robotic nail gun, Joe?
I have not.
No. Wow. It's fucking scary.
Of course it is.
It's a nail gun affixed to a robot arm with an eye.
Oh, God.
And the dude in this video has a wall of balloons of different colors. Black, yellow, blue, and I think pink, right?
Okay.
And he goes, okay, Chat GPT, select color blue. And it starts firing nails with laser precision at the blue balloons. He goes, okay, Chat GPT, select color yellow. All of the yellow balloons. All right, great. This is cute. They're all over the place. He goes through all the colors. They all get popped. He goes, okay, Chat GPT, select the color blue. And he's holding 3 balloons. And he throws them. He's behind. He's behind the eye.
Yeah.
He throws them overhead. And it misses a couple, but it doesn't miss the second shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
Fucking Terminators are coming. We're fucked.
I've never been so happy to be old in my life, because by the time fucking Skylab starts knocking on my door, I'll be dying. Dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel bad for my kids. Jesus fuck.
God damn.
So fucking. Oh, Jay's commenting about the fucking pictures from the thing. Are you sure that's not from 1957?
I made sure. Yeah. I made sure it's from this year.
That's an archaic way to catch fish and compete. Yeah. It is insane. And I'm just saying that there is technology that's in there. You know what I mean? You can. And these are events that are. I mean, dude, even if you had to.
The problem is the people putting it on are fucking archaic.
Yes.
How many young kids are part of the Lions Club? You know what I mean? Yeah. So they probably, they're probably using the fucking jitterbug cell phones. They have no idea.
I mean, and the thing is, the reality of it is somebody's going to have, you could do it ass backwards. With ice fishing, you totally could. One person's got to have a snowmobile.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Have that person go around, and every time that there's a fucking fish catch, have somebody come to measure that fish. Or make it part of the deal where you have a hole right there that's dug to release. So you get you bring the fish in, you measure it, and then you release it right there. Do it that way. What's so fucking difficult about that? Catch photo release is way more effective, And you're right, that pond is going to have a significant, there are different schools of thought. There are people who will be like, oh, all those big predators are gone. All these other fish can now feed up on all the bait and blah, 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 blah. I think the jury's out on a lot of the fucking redneck fucking assumptions, or redneck theories. You know what I mean? There's a lot of them. But I don't know, man.
It's crazy because I did catch my PB there this year.
Yeah.
But still, it's like those quality of fish used to be caught there constantly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, if you've got a couple of fives in there, like how many fives could that body of water of that size actually support? Not that many. So if you pulled 2 or 3 out, well, shit, you know, I mean, that's, you know, and I agree. Like, you've got to cull the population of some fish in order to be able to regulate them, especially since that body of water gets stocked too.
The only thing I know that they stock there are pike on occasion.
Oh, really? I thought they stocked trout as well.
No. So any trout you see in there are coming from south.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right. That makes sense. And they're stocking south. Like, this is fucking browns and shit. So, yeah. That's so crazy. Does Mass have a bass stocking program? No.
Not to my knowledge, no.
Not that I'm aware of. Which is fine because they're so hardy and abundant. There's really no need. I think the real reason why we saw trout get distributed the way that they do has to do with providing a food source for folks, you know, on a more regular basis. I think that's really what it gets down to because they're fucking, you know, a lot of people complain they don't like the taste of trout, but they're like easy to eat, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
You know, you don't have to scale them or anything like that. They're So I don't know. Yeah, it's fucked up, dude. Fuck those guys. Fuck the Lions Club.
Fuck those guys.
Fuck the Lions Club. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works because, like, Kayak Adventure Series, it ties right back in. There have been some rule changes in the Kayak Adventure Series because of some of the drama going on in the CPR community. And Milliken, you know, he's bringing back the Slaunchmaster Classic and doing that, which I think is awesome. And it's a catch photo release setup. And he was like, even in the, I don't know if you watched that video that he released last week, Joe.
I haven't watched that one, no.
He talks about the breakdown. He was like, that's kind of the problem that we ran into is like a lot of these guys, specifically the kayak guys, are very much like, oh, it's got to be just this way and the photo has to be whatever. And they're not wrong. Like, there's a reason for that, you know?
Sure.
I think a lot of the times you'll get like folks that are typically measuring their abilities or whatever fishing with a scale. I think that they kind of think of it as nitpicking, but there's a reason why you want it all uniform, you know?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
There's totally a reason for it. So I think that you see a lot of folks that will, you know, they nitpick about this stuff, but I mean, it's just, I feel like it's just the way that it's going. Yep. But in the Kayak Adventure Series, there's a couple of things where, like, if you have video footage cast to catch and somebody raises an issue, and I'll get clarification from Drew specifically when we have him on. I believe if you have video cast to catch, catching that fish, they're immediately just letting it go. Because you've taken the steps to do it. And that's where I think something like this AI platform could come in handy. Just putting that marker. Because I guarantee it's using the same camera that you're using. It's just, you're just adding the catches after the fact. And by having that marker in there, it's able to determine exactly what it is because it gives it a point of reference. You know, and if it's on and it's from the way it seems, and I'm gonna dick around with this, but from the way that it seems, as long as your fish is flat up against a flat surface, which a regulation catch board will be, it's gonna be as accurate as it's gonna be, you know. And it would be interesting to put this on my catch board, and that's how I catch all of my. That's how I grade all of my fish for my progress. It'll be interesting to see how accurate it is over time. Is it gonna waver a little bit, or is it gonna be dead to nuts?
Right.
Although, is the AI going to look at the board in the background?
Yeah,
and be
no
like,
shit, dude.
Oh, this one's easy, man. Thanks.
You know, I wonder. Who knows? Maybe I get the developer from Fish Techie on, and we'll talk.
Yeah.
Interesting shit. Well, Joe, that's about all I got, man.
That's it, dude. Streamlined.
Very streamlined. This is what a fishing podcast in January in the Northeast looks like, folks.
Yeah, no shit.
It really is. Pat put a comment in here I do want to get to before we move on. He goes, I really wish Rhode Island would start a bass program. Our waters are so small and so many bodies of water in my area would be better if there were maintained a healthy population.
Rhode Island's all about the saltwater fishing.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
There's some spots to fish in Rhode Island, but it's like, I don't like, I'm not against stocking anything, but I don't necessarily think that you really have to fuck around with it, because I think you complicate things more when you stock stuff than you actually help anything going on. And keep in mind, bass are invasive. So, like, stocking bass is for what? You know what I mean? Pat says, and freaking trout. Well, I know that they're stocking trout in there. I mean, it's like the more, I don't know. So, who knows? Who knows? Fucking hang. All right, we'll go ahead. We'll wrap this sucker up. You guys are absolutely awesome. We appreciate you more than you ever would possibly even be aware of. It is Expo season. So if you are in Columbus, Ohio, make sure to say hi to who the fuck is Joe Brown over the Dark Horse Tackle booth. We're also going to have friends from The Catch, from Tackle Talk, from the Hole Angler. Not to be confused with The Angler's Hole. That's a different podcast. That's a different show. It's not hosted by Dave Urquhart either. It's not. No, the Whole Angler is a different beast. We're going to have lots of friends popping in there. I believe, was Armando going to be there? Bass Kayak and Beers. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure with that, but stop by if you're in Columbus, Ohio. Of course, if you're at the New England Fishing Expo, which I assume the majority of our listeners are at least going to do a pass through and walk on by. We're going to have friends all over the place. Make sure to stop and say hello. You will see me on the floor. Periodically, I'll be popping in on Friday and on Sunday, and I'm pretty much going to be there all day on Saturday. That's at least my plan so far. So make sure to pop over at the Hanks Marine and JCS Marine booths. I will be set up over there pretty routinely if I'm not, making moves on the floor. I might even do a little bit of a YouTube video, vlog the whole experience. People like my vlogs, I got vlogs, baby. I got vlogs. Roundtable, Pat says roundtable. That one's coming. We just got to get through the Expo stuff. That's it. Once we do that, that'll be good. We'll figure out how we're going to record. Yeah, I think we should just do a Monday night session for next week. Get all of our ducks in a row. Bang that one out. Maybe even might be tricky recording while you're in Columbus. Might be tricky. That'll be the following weekend.
Yeah, we'll work it. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. You guys are not going to go without a show any of these weeks. Don't worry. We haven't let you down yet. We haven't skipped a week yet. Nothing like that. So it ain't going to happen. We will have a show for you. And then once we get through that, it is on the docket to do another roundtable. It's just fucking around with Expo season and trying to get folks in, especially the local guys that are going like to the New England show. It might be a little bit of a mess, Although, if it were to work out, maybe I could put something together with John and Matt, and we could do a little electronics conversation. That might be kind of fun. We'll figure it out. I got to get this fucking thing working, though. I gotta figure out how to get this shit to work, so we can stream. And you guys don't even know the technical bullshit that I'm dealing with right now is kind of nuts. Anyway. You guys are the greatest. We appreciate you. You're listening. You're engaging with us. Things are up and up on Instagram lately. We're up like a couple hundred followers, which is great. That's kind of nice because it was getting kind of desolate over there for a little while. We appreciate that. TikTok was down for about 13 hours, but it's back, baby, which is good because my preferred editing software is owned by TikTok. So, now I'm glad that's back. Let me tell you, editing this last video that I put on YouTube was interesting as hell. Like, how come I can't get these effects to work right? And it's like, it's not seeing the network for whatever reason. I was like, that's bullshit. How come I can't utilize all this shit that I'm paying for? It fucking finally started working. I was like, oh, that's right. The ticky-tacky. As always, you're watching the stuff on the YouTubes, and we appreciate you. You guys are the best. Keep tagging us in your stuff. I have some planning to do for a big trip in April out to St. Clair. That's what the focus is right now. I'm going to be pissed if that's the next time I get the boat in the water. But, hopefully things change before that. The sun will come out tomorrow, and there will be more sunlight then, too, and the next day and the next day. So don't let your hope dwindle too fast. Folks, appreciate you. Keep tagging us in your fishy pics, and we'll talk to you later. Have yourselves a good one, everybody. Joe, do you have anything that you want to shout out before we wrap her up?
I got nothing this week, man.
I love that. You guys know the deal. You guys know how it's done. Like we always say,
it's an ass sports.
I've been wondering what has happened to you now. Am I the only one who's struggling to move on? Yeah. Guess I thought that this was meant to last. Now I wish I was still living in the past. Yeah. Never felt so damn frustrated. You're just wasting my time. All the feelings that I dread is ringing in my head. Can't believe the words you said. Ringing in my head. Somebody save me. Now we're hanging by a thread, and it's ringing in my head. All your friends are now my enemies. Always tell you what to do. Can't keep up with all the bullshit they're throwing your way.